I need an adventure and I think you do too. So for this next one, we're taking it international to Vancouver, Canada. Come along with me as we explore the city, nature, and eat so much good food. It's my first international trip in about 15 years and I'm so excited. We ended up getting there around midnight, so it was a little rough. But luckily going through customs and picking up our luggages went by quick. Now we couldn't pick up a rental car like we wanted to, so we had to take an Uber to the hotel. And this is our hotel room. And then I find that there's a sweet surprise waiting for me by my bedside. Even though the macarons kinda all just tasted sweet without much difference in flavor, it was very thoughtful of the hotel to do something for my birthday. We managed to finish everything on this plate, and my favorite was the white chocolate chip happy birthday sign. We have a late start to our first day and it is quite gloomy. Our first stop is Granville Island so that we can visit the public market. Right when we walked in, we made our first purchase at Longliner Seafoods. We get the popular maple candied salmon and the smoked salmon here. There's a lot of tempting baked goods and so much to look at. We ended up grabbing a Parmesan focaccia to snack on while we make our way to Alamode for their puff pastry pies. We get the clam chowder and chicken pot pie, and on such a cold day, this was perfect. The puff pastry was crispy and buttery, which paired really well with the creamy soup. And then we tried the salmon. My boyfriend really enjoyed his smoked salmon, but I enjoyed the sweet and saltiness of this candied one. We weren't planning to eat anything else, but we came across the cinnamon roll, so of course we bought it and ate it immediately. And then we couldn't leave without buying these huge mangoes. We decided to explore outside of the market and came across cherry blossoms at Sky Park. This was our first encounter with these beautiful trees and we got to enjoy it all to ourselves. And I wish we could have stayed longer to enjoy it, but it was freezing cold and the wind was relentless. We stuck it out as much as we could to explore before going to get our rental car. Since we were in Richmond, we made a stop at Rice Holic for the viral mochi mangoes we saw online. I love mangoes and I love mochi, so this is something I had to try. It wasn't life-changing, but they were delicious. With all the eating that we did, we went to walk it off at the Bloedel Conservatory. This dome is a tropical paradise filled with so many different exotic plants and birds to see. It took us less than 30 minutes to go through, and when we were done, we headed outside to see the Queen Elizabeth Park. And even though it was raining, we didn't let that stop us from walking through such a pretty garden. This is the aftermath of his soaked pants and my soaked shoes, but we had a great time. We make a stop at the hotel to freshen up, and then we're out again taking an Uber to our dinner to Kisa Tonto. At this restaurant, they have Japanese Italian-inspired cuisine, and here's the spread of items that we got. The best dishes we liked here was this perfectly cooked omelet, from how soft and fluffy the egg was to the savory sauce. And then there's this unique pasta dish that really had the curry flavor come through. It worked really well in this Italian-inspired dish. After dinner, we left as quickly as we could. This is to catch a sunset at the seawall by the Vancouver Convention Center. Our vision was to have dessert while we looked at the sunset, so we grabbed a tiramisu cake to go from the restaurant. Even though we didn't have utensils, that didn't stop us from making it happen. This was such a spontaneous idea and I loved it. As we head further down this walk towards the Vancouver Convention Center, we see the Olympic Cauldron and the digital orca. This was so cool, and if you look closely, the whale actually sparkles to fit the digital theme. The night isn't even over for us yet. We actually go back to the hotel to fit in more movement since we ate so much during the day. And spoiler alert, we actually ate more after this. We were really craving something sweet, so the mangoes that we got came in handy. And with the first bite of that mango, we decided we have no regrets to this purchase. The second day that we're here is my birthday. We were just going to walk to lunch, but we encountered a bakery that had these stuffed cookies we couldn't pass up. And it was a good thing that we didn't, because man, were these so good. Now, the perfect lunch meal for me was to have some Korean cuisine. I'm a sucker for Korean food, especially with all the side dishes, and having a meal with so much variety is something I love. So I got the lunch set that came with just that. I really enjoyed the food here, but personal favorites is the fried fish and the kimchi pancake. As we head back to the hotel, we see more cherry blossoms, and I can't explain the joy I get every time I see these trees, but I think I just feel really grateful and lucky that we get to see these beautiful trees in bloom while we're here. Once we're back at the hotel, I change into something a little bit more warm and hiking appropriate for our Lynn Canyon trip. Since it was raining a bit, no one was really here, so parking was quite easy for us. It's a fairly short walk to get to the reward of the Lynn Canyon Suspension Bridge, and technically you can stop right after this, but we didn't because we wanted to hike further in. By the time we finished hiking back up, we were so hot and thirsty. We made a stop at the Lynn Canyon Cafe they have here to pick up some strawberry fruit bars. Then for my birthday, we went to this Michelin-rated omakase place called Pokeya Kijiro. We got to experience a great culinary experience with music in the background paired with quality food that made us want to dance. So here's everything we ate. To wrap up this amazing dinner, the head chef wished me a happy birthday himself, and another chef played me happy birthday on the violin. This truly felt so special, so my first omakase experience is 10 out of 10. Our third day here was the earliest we had to wake up. This was to grab breakfast sandwiches before we rushed to the free shuttle nearby to go to the Capilano suspension bridge. I want to say that we came at a really good time in the morning. There weren't that many people as we were walking on the bridge. It felt really safe and I had a lot of excitement as I went on it, just trying to take in the beauty of nature all around me. Once we got to the other side, we sat down at this public seating area with pretty fairy lights to enjoy our food. This was honestly the best breakfast sandwich we've ever had. After eating, we were off to explore more. I didn't realize that there were actually more things to see and do besides the bridge. We encountered this cool heron, and then we went to see some birds of prey at the Raptor's Ridge. There was also a scavenger hunt that we did, and we both had different ideas for the task of drawing ourselves with our fellow explorers. This was his, and then this is mine. This had us laughing so much. After exploring most of the area, we were ready for a snack, so we made a stop at the cabin and grabbed some food here. We settled for a hot chocolate and sharing a macadamia nut cookie. Their hot chocolate is delicious. Once we finished, we went to tackle the cliff walk. This narrow walkway anchored to the cliff definitely made me a little bit more nervous than the bridge. We did it! Definitely do this cliff walk because there's a hidden gem of a waterfall at the end. It's safe to say we had a really great time here. We enjoyed all the activities and attractions. We weren't too hungry, but we wanted to try this place. So we only got this chef's kiss plate of Brussels sprouts and a pizza to share. And the strawberry sorbet here is amazing. Even though I was really exhausted by this point, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to rent some electric bikes to bike at the Stanley Park. Because for the first time since we've been here, the weather was mostly clear and sunny. And Vancouver is so beautiful without the gloom. I have no words to describe how nice this bike ride around Stanley Park seawall was. But I'm so grateful that we were blessed with such a sunny day to have been able to do this. After the 2-hour bike ride, it was time for dinner, and the first stop is at a popular food truck called Mr. Shawarma. And then we picked up some classic poutine fries to eat at the park. We were here at this park for the Cherry Blossom After Dark Festival. It was kind of disappointing that only certain areas had light projected onto the trees when there was so much potential for the whole park to be lit up. But it was definitely pretty where the lights were projected onto the trees. Our last adventure for the night was to grab dessert at Mr. Artisan Ice Cream. Day 4 is the day we're most excited about as we venture out to Squamish for more nature and scenic views. We make our first stop at Cypress Lookout. This is a viewpoint to see Vancouver City and its surroundings. One of the places I wanted to see along the way was Porteau Cove. It's a provincial park that has stunning mountains in the background and a waterfront to see marine life. And we were so lucky to see so many harbor seals playing with each other. Now it was awfully cold here, but the views were incredible. For our third scenic destination, we do a little trek to see Shannon Falls. It didn't take too long for us to finish seeing everything before we were out of there so we could grab some lunch. We were feeling sandwiches, so we found a place called the Buvette. We got some chips and this meat sando. The cross-section of the sandwich is so gorgeous, and it tasted great. Then it was time for our most highly anticipated activity of this trip, which is going to the Sea to Sky Air, where we take a small aircraft to tour some of Canada's best natural landscape from above. This was our first time being on such a small plane, so I was personally a little bit nervous in the beginning, but it was actually the most stable flight of my life. We had an expert pilot who took the time to walk us through all the safety measures, plan our route to explore, and gave us insight on the region's geological history. So let's sit back and enjoy the phenomenal views together. Every moment was truly breathtaking, and it was incredible to see just a little bit more to how big the world around us is. This was an unforgettable 75-minute experience that went by too quickly, but we left with great memories and really happy smiles. While we were in the area, we couldn't skip out on the Sky Gondola attraction. Before we even made it to the aerial tramway, the Prague dessert food truck caught our attention, so of course we had to get something. This fried cone with soft serve and all the hazelnut chocolate goodness was very yummy. And then it's time to take the gondola up. It's another first of mine to take an aerial tramway, so I'm very thrilled to be checking off another thing on my bucket list. Once we get up here, we see that there's another suspension bridge. We're experts by now, so getting across this was super easy. We also get more amazing views of the greenery, the snow-capped mountains, as well as the Howe Sound Fjord. We basically traversed enough to see the major viewpoints, but my boyfriend wanted to go further and hike the snowy trail to see what else we'd discover. I'm a bit hesitant only because the shoes I have aren't meant for walking in the snow. And then my boyfriend says,
"What could go wrong?"
But of course that didn't actually stop us, and with his confidence leading the way, we actually came across another trail to see more of the beautiful scenery this place has to offer. So for the rest of the way, we're waddling through this as carefully as possible as we set for making it to the chief overlook viewing platform. And the view does not disappoint, so I guess it was worth all those almost slipping and sliding moments. The last thing we do here is warm up with some hot chocolate after being out for so long. It's the end of the day and it's time to head back. Luckily, we get to see everything one more time as we make our way down the gondola. For dinner, I'm so excited to be going to An and Chi, which happens to be a Michelin-rated, award-winning restaurant. Honestly, this place is fantastic, and I loved every single dish that I ate here. It was well balanced with fried foods, fresh vegetables, and protein packed with so much flavor. This was the perfect last dinner in Vancouver. Now the morning comes for our last day and I'm actually so sad, but we're blessed with a beautiful sunny day. And before we head to the airport, we're running it right back to Granville Island to get our favorite pies from A La Mode. And we couldn't leave before trying the much talked about Lee's Donuts. We get this sweet treat to enjoy by the water. Eating this donut was bittersweet because the time here was ending and I was sad to leave. Every part of this trip was perfect to me. From trying delicious food every chance we got to exploring the beauties of Vancouver, I had so much fun each day. So if you enjoyed and you're looking forward to the next adventure with me, don't forget to like and subscribe.